name is Jiang. I work for IBM. So basically I work on open source most of my time. So I work on the MicroProfile and Jakarta EE and Open Liberty. Who knows MicroProfile? Nobody? Jakarta EE? Okay, Java EE? Okay, if you know Java EE, you know Jakarta EE. That's just the rebranding, the name rebranding. And also, who knows Open Liberty? Nobody? WebSphere? Okay, so it's Open Liberty is the next the successor of the WebSphere. So it's in this session actually I'm going to do a live coding. So most of the time I will be on the keyboard. So you can code along with me, and later on, because it's recorded, so you can watch and you can start from scratch yourself. So I start everything from scratch. So I use VS Code. Who uses VS Code? Good. IntelliJ? Excellent. Eclipse? We have the tooling support for the VS Code, IntelliJ, and etc. So you'll be fine. So I will quickly spend a few minutes to talk about cloud native. So we always talk about cloud. Why? Have you ever thought about why people trying to move to the cloud? Absolutely. Basically, it's like you don't really want to buy everything yourself. You want to rent stuff, right? That's what the cloud for. However, if you rent things in the cloud, you need to make sure you just occupy smaller footprint, and also you need to make sure if you are not using it, you are not paying for everything. So you need to make sure the things you are running small and also fast. Also, we are talking about Java. Are you all Java developers? Java developers, great. So JVM you use. So which JVM are you using? OpenJDK? Okay. So have you all heard of OpenJ9? Okay, you have. So it's actually OpenJ9 is an open source project. It's under Eclipse Foundation. Actually, we did this is Oracle hotspot. So basically, it's to JVM, and OpenJ9 is the memory footprint a lot smaller and also start up a lot faster. So if you have not heard of OpenJ9, check it out. In this demo, I'm using OpenJ9. Actually, I'm using IBM Sumaru. Basically, the package is OpenJ9 and also have basically the downloadable images. Who have heard of IBM Sumaru Java? Who have heard of IBM Java? Okay, that's another success of the IBM Java. So it's called the Sumaru. Now is today's focus, cloud native applications. So it's back probably 6 or 7 years ago, people question, is Java suitable for creating cloud native applications? There's a lot of people started learning Go. However, it's very easy to get started. Very easy to write your first program. However, for these new languages, there's not a rich ecosystem. No language can compare to Java. So Java also evolved really fast. So now Java is perfect choice for creating your cloud native application. So that's why we are the Java developers. We are at high demand, right? It's very easy to look for jobs and etc. So for creating cloud native applications, we need to first learn what are the requirements for cloud native applications. First thing is the REST has been around for a few decades, right? The REST is still prominent. So it's basically when you scale up and scale down, and it's very easy. And one thing you need to make sure is that there's no identity associated with each instance with REST. So the second one is the configurable. The thing is, if you deploy to the cloud, the things will be different. Like a host will change, the port will change. You need to make sure they are configurable. So later on, I demonstrate how to configure them. And also the resilience, fault tolerance. If you are creating cloud native applications, do not expect everything around you is perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. So you need to deal with all sorts of different situations. You shouldn't blame others. Just fix it yourself. Like, you know why there's so many arguments? Especially at home. Like you try to change others. Like change yourself. Just adapt to others. The world will be peace. The next one is cloud native microservices applications should be can be discovered. So basically, they can document themselves. And also, very importantly, they should be secure because in the cloud native applications, some of them contain really sensitive information. So you should prevent from authorized person to access it. And finally, so basically, the cloud native applications should be long running all the time, and also it can be emit the data. Also you can monitor them. If something goes wrong, you need to take a precaution. So it needs to be treated. If something goes wrong, and also you need to find out what's going wrong. And also with the monitoring data, you should get a warning before something serious happens, so you can take appropriate action. Finally, they should be intelligent. They should be able to communicate with the cloud infrastructure. If something is not going to happen or not ready, the cloud infrastructure such as Kubernetes should not route requests to this cloud native application. The other thing, if this application is going to die, Kubernetes should automatically stop it and kill it, recycle it. So this is why this is all the requirements for being a cloud native application. Then you may think, oh gosh, I have a business logic to deal with. Now there's so many other tasks. Luckily, we have a MicroProfile to help. The MicroProfile is an open source project, also is the open standard. The cloud native standard it provides APIs for you to write cloud native applications. It's completely community driven, so each one of you should be welcome to contribute towards this community. And then also it is supported by big players like IBM, Red Hat, Microsoft, Oracle, and also together with some Jiang as well. What I say is standard, and there's many implementations. In IBM, we have open source, Open Liberty, which I'm going to use for this demo. And also there's a WebSphere version, the WebSphere Liberty. So the difference, the WebSphere Liberty includes Open Liberty and plus some other features. And also, Quarkus. Have you all heard of Quarkus? Okay, some of them. Also from Red Hat. Halogen from Microsoft. And have you all heard of Glassfish? Okay, some of them. Yeah. So that's Payara basically is the repackaged Glassfish. So this basic chart to demonstrate the whole fast evolvement with MicroProfile releases. So at now we just released MicroProfile 6, and lastly 2021 is MicroProfile 5. I'm going to talk about MicroProfile 6 tomorrow at 11 o'clock. It's in the exhibition, XP. So the other area, SD, yeah, SD hall 2, I think. And today, I'm talking about a demo MicroProfile 5. MicroProfile 6, there's a few updates. So I will talk about that tomorrow. So this is compatible implementations. As you can see, Open Liberty is everywhere. So actually, I'm technical lead for MicroProfile. I use Liberty to drive the releases since 4.1. So this is a big pillar for MicroProfile. So like you can see the kind of open teaching or the also MicroProfile telemetry. Have you all heard of open telemetry? Okay, that's under CNCF. That's a new thing. Tomorrow I'll talk more about this MicroProfile telemetry, basically adopt telemetry. And then I will demo all of this. And the other on the right hand side is standalone release. So basically it's not part of this platform. So if you do reactive, you can use staging. And also is if you do a lot of queries, you might want to use GraphQL. For LRA, that's for microservices transactions. Okay, so that's all kind of the like background information. Now I'm start the coding session. Hopefully the Wi-Fi will stay on. So let's see. By the way, I wrote a co-author book about MicroProfile with a few others. So on Amazon, if you are interested in MicroProfile, just go and search that. Let me go to I'm using VS Code. I started. So the MicroProfile has the extension pack. It's called the MicroProfile extension pack. So I have that installed, so you can directly create an app, cloud native application. And then if I just say okay, and because now we are in the process to add version 6, just waiting for more runtime to show up, and then we can add it to the starters. I'm using 5 right now, and using Open Liberty, using Java 11. Who else uses Maven? Maven? Okay. Gradle? Okay. Maven is a picker. Let me generate all of them. Not going to do much about GraphQL. So I generated to demo because to the current state. So with that, actually, I have 2 microservices created. So by the way, microservices is the cloud native application. You need to say. So this is 2 like microservice. Service A directly calling into service B. And also, we have a Liberty dashboard. So basically, this is a Liberty dashboard. I can start these 2 microservices right now. You can start them. And then I will explain to you the service B and service A. Can you all see it from back? Yeah. So the first, like for the poem, you can see here, you just need to add the MicroProfile like this poem, and all the APIs will immediately available to you. And the service B has 2 endpoints. One is the kind of service controller, just have to do something. It's a get operation. Are you still familiar with JAX-S? Okay, cool. So this is basically JAX-S trying to create a REST. And the other endpoint, this is kind of the protected. So rows allowed. So that means only row protected allowed to access this endpoint. So in service A, basically I'm trying to access this like an endpoint. So in service A, so the first one, the client. So I use MicroProfile like a REST client directly to the like access to the service B. So all I need to do is create an interface for service B, the get operation, and annotate it with register REST client. And then I can directly inject into the other REST like a REST controller, so RESTful classes, and then I do add inject at the REST client, and then I can directly call this. So you might be asking, how do I know where service B is? So that's being configured. So it's basically in here, I can just specify here. So basically, this is fully qualified class name, the service, and /mprest/URL. This is the service-based endpoint. So this is how it's hooked up. In the service, so basic service up running with the service excuse me, is under the localhost 9080. As you can see here, basically, I can directly call the basically service B. But you may think, okay, is that really calling to service B? Let's find out. If now is I start Liberty in the a demo mode. If I directly to say here, if I say gate, I just save that, and then I go back. See, you can see the changes straight away, right? It did calling to service B. Now I want to update. Basically, now is everything generated. I try to do something with it. So it's in service A. Actually, I want to basically here. I just say hello. I want to say hello conf, and I don't really want to hard code it. I just variable. And I want to configure. Basically, I can just say add inject, add config property, and then I will say, okay, I configure that conference, and then I say, okay, I inject that to conf, and then I save it. You can see I got error straight away here. That's obvious. So I will get an error message. Here it says it failed inject. So because it's not specified anywhere. So obviously I haven't done anything with it. And then here also we have the basically the tool tell you it's not configured. Let me configure in here. So config. This is do at least. So I save that, and then it's happy. It's all happy again. Now I go back here. Yeah, so you can see the changes straight away. Now you can see actually, you just basic with your business logic, type along. Don't need to restart anything. Now, let me create a fault in service B. Simulate actually, the things around you not perfect. You have to expect things around you is constantly changing and sometimes not working. So basically, let me put some fault in the service B. I will add some delays, and also is add some errors, whatever. So in service B, in order to save time, let me directly copy. So basically, you can see every free time I add a long delay, and also sometimes not working. I save that. Now is let me go back. So here is all the change. As you can see here, it keep on is really slow. And I'm not patient. So it's considering I'm the author for service A, I can't really hand over my code to my client. So I need to fix it. So I can use MicroProfile for tolerance to fix. I just tell you how can I fix it myself without asking my friend or asking somebody I do not even know to fix their code. I just say, okay, I feel that I don't have time to wait. I only have the patience to wait for 100 milliseconds. So it's, and the other best practice is if you use the timeout, always best practice to use asynchronous programming. So in this case, I need to return the completion state in Java 8. So here, I just do a completable future dot completed state. The other thing is with this, if it's more than 100 milliseconds, you will get timeout. So I know is sometimes is kind of if you retry, it will work. So I can just say, okay, I also want to retry. I don't want to specify anything else. And then I just retry, save that. Now, let me go back here. This is the service A. As you can see, have a look here, right? Now the 7, you got an 8. You can see it's no longer keep on spinning anymore. It directly jumped to 11. That's because it's kind of, you got a timeout, it is like this timeout exception directly trigger the retry. So you get the response, back straight away. Also, for some critical operations, especially in the cloud, also is very important to have a fallback. If something like not going to work, is very critical, and is always best practice. So I want to get applied to all the time. Always best practice to have the fallback method. So basically, this if something not working, and you have the contingency plan. For the fallback, so basically you can just directly create a method called fallback with exactly same signature as this one. And obviously here you shouldn't do the exactly same thing. Otherwise, you defeat the purpose of fallback. If here, if it's a bank statement, maybe you just return a cache. For example, here you can just say that. Okay. Obviously, you can't test it here. However, it's in the cloud, in the Kubernetes, and if the backend is not available, and you will get this. And then the kind of with that, that's a quick run of the config and resilience and fault tolerance. The other thing is MicroProfile automatically give you the documentation. So basically, and you get all the endpoints being documented. Anybody know Swagger? So this is the no news for you, right? And also in Open Liberty we have a Swagger UI, so you know it already. See, you can see you can even do the evoke this. Try it out. Maybe we'll say hello. You can see a team. And this is like an Open API. It just tell you the by default 200. What if you want to add more information? So you can use the MicroProfile Open API to basically use the annotation base. So I directly copy the API response, and you can add what 200 means, what 404 means. So here, I just add that. And you directly so here is just saying 404 is backend failure, and the median type text plain. Before I do that, I show you here. So here it said response body download file. Obviously, the median type is not text, right? It's not text. Otherwise, it will just show up. By default, it's not text. It will be download the zip. However, the beauty of Open API, you could even do change the type. So here, now I just say the response 200 is the description, and also the median type text plain. Yeah, remember that? And also operation, what does that mean? Let me save it. Now I refresh. Can you see that? It's 200 and 404. Now let me try it out. If here I say hello, exactly. See, now it's a tag. You can see the response. No longer ask you to download the zip. So this is a kind of open API. Also, you know, it's basically the implementation Swagger. Use it. And the other thing is also you got all the metrics. So it's the endpoint is slash metric. You get like a fault tolerance metric, tell you exactly how many times they retried, how many times they timed out. That's very useful. And also you have some garbage collection thing, and also class loading, and plus some application metrics, the automatically generated. However, you can still add your some other metrics. I can just say, actually, I want to add more metrics. I want to say time. At the time, I will say gate metric. I don't want to do this description. And just import that. And we save that. Now, if I invoke it, if I invoke that second, now you can see there's more metrics. Towards the end, you can see gauge metrics. Yeah. So this is it's so easy. Actually, it's kind of you do not even need to know what's implementation backend. You don't even know for instance some metrics library job wizard. You know job wizard? No? Micrometer? Okay. Tomorrow I will talk about more metrics. So it's kind of we see the new metrics. And also there's the kind of, if you just want to know the application metrics, you can go in here, metrics. And then we also talk about intelligence, they are very smart, the minions. Also in MicroProfile, specifications, there's MicroProfile health. So it will directly tell you this response whether it's your healthy or not. How did it work? So how does it work? So basically in here you can just say lemonade check. So what it means when under what kind of situation is live, and also readiness check. So readiness check is pretty much if you can access the backend, the database, and then this is ready. Otherwise, if you couldn't access your database, is kind of you don't need to process any request, right? Also the startup. So it's when do you think you are started? So do you all know Kubernetes? Kubernetes? Good. If you know Kubernetes, Kubernetes as a startup, top, Lebanese top, and readiness. This is directly matching for that. This is great advantage. When you use Kubernetes just give you, hey, application developer, tell me when you are ready. So this will directly tell Kubernetes when it's ready. So basically, in this this readiness checker here, so you tell you just say trying to access your database. If you couldn't, you will return down. So that means that when Kubernetes query this, you say, oh, you are down. I'm not going to route any request to you. Yeah. So that Kubernetes is basically have the plugin point. You directly use MicroProfile health to plug that information in. So the other thing is secure. So how did I do the security? So it's basically here, like this is directly just to show you, is microservice A directly call the microservice B, the like secured backend. Let me show you how it works. So here in microservice B, so in microservice B, so basically here is the roles allowed protected. It only allow the roles belong to protected accesses. So, and then microservice A is trying to call it. And when it's trying to, when it's trying to call it, so it's invoke, it's used like, so here it uses just as a client, so it's create a client, and then when the invoke is passing the header. So this header, bearer header, and passing the George. Do you know George? Anybody? Yeah, the George contains all the information. So what MicroProfile JWT did is add two additional claims. One is UTN, the other one is group. So basically, so when you send the token to the backend, and the George token contains these two extra information, and backend grab it, find out, okay, you belong to this group protected. Yes, you can access me. So here, like first, they even need to create the George token. So it's actually there's many ways to create a George token. So one way is use some libraries. So in here you can use the vertex libraries, or you use like Open Liberty libraries. And plus, if you use some other like George token issuer, so they have the like a customer token, like a custom claim addition. You just specify that to token to claim, you will be fine. Do you know Keycloak? Keycloak. Yeah. So in a Keycloak like a UI, you can directly add these two tokens. It will pass on. So here you can see here the token. This is all the mandatory, so the issuer and etc. So this is UTN, is a new customer claim added by MicroProfile, and also this group. So here, because it's protected, it's basically passed on. It says that I belong to user and protected. So that's why it can access it. So let's change it. Let's say, okay, service B has changed. We are no longer like good friends. Okay, basically, service B says, okay, I only allow super to access me. So let's go back. So you no longer access service B. It's because you are not you do not belong to the group super. So that means kind of it does work. So let me go back. If I go back, it will work again. So the other beauty is, even in service B, you can even read the JSON web token. You can even inject it. If I just say inject JSON web token, and you say table token, and let's have a peek what the token looks like. You just say token, and you can do a token dot get raw token. I save that. Let's have a look. You can see here is basically jailbreak. So you can't really understand what's in there. It's because it's encoded. It's not in plain text. It's encoded. It's JWS. It's signed and encoded. If you know JWT, you can directly go to jwt.io and to have it decoded. So here, if I paste here, as you can see here, after decoded, you can see JWT. This is like a JWS sign, you see, and then you can read this UTN JC, and you can see the group belong to user protected, right? Is that smart? Hopefully you will see yes. So this is kind of pretty much like you have done the whole application like development. So it's you learn how to configure. You're using MicroProfile config. You can inject the config. You can specify the config value in like anywhere MicroProfile-config.properties or even Kubernetes config map or anywhere or even database. And it's basically you just need to make sure MicroProfile config can access it. Or as environment variable or system properties, you're fine. And resilience, you use the MicroProfile fault tolerance. For the documentation, use the MicroProfile Open API. And also for the metrics, you use the MicroProfile metrics. And also the security, you use the MicroProfile like a JWT. Now you're happy with this application. What's the next step? If you think about cloud, obviously like you containerize it, right? The first thing you need to do, you compile it. Basically, you build it and then Dockerize it. Let's how many do you know anyone know Docker? Docker? Kubernetes? Okay. I'm using Docker desktop and to directly just PC to make them function in the Kubernetes. Very good question. The Spring Boot and the MicroProfile, now you probably you are already thinking this is very similar, right? So they are directly alternative to Spring Boot. Actually, I also wrote a blog about, let me show you, MicroProfile and Spring. Here go. Yeah, it's very similar. It's very similar. The difference is the Spring is kind of the APIs is it's just like implemented by Spring Boot, right? For MicroProfile, as you can see, the open source. It's not only open source, it's also the standard many implementations. So so here in this blog, I compared I even compared with code examples, and then towards the end, and they are very comparable. Towards the end, there is kind of some differences, but it's very similar. You got it right. Yeah. So I think it's quite easy, and basically, as you can see, the other thing is tomorrow also talk about metrics. So in MicroProfile, the new release also we adopt a micrometer. Basically, that's the same as the Spring. So it's there's no tool, however, it's pretty much is very similar. Yeah, very good question. Basically, it's a few this is also is somebody also asked some customers as well. And at the moment, Spring is bringing a lot of libraries, and also is Spring you directly deploy to the maybe you can deploy Spring Boot to Open Liberty. However, it does not use Open Liberty other APIs. It's basically you package everything. You pretty much you only use a servlet. So it's from the container, you use a Tomcat purely for the servlet. There's not very not so much advantages. However, I think I'm going to like try it out to see whether like at the moment, basically is if some app server like a runtime can allow you to directly for the Spring Boot directly also access the MicroProfile API. So that would be great. So we are going to like as a community, we're going to work out which MicroProfile APIs can work with like Spring Boot. So if you have time, try it out. Yeah. Yeah, can you summarize what he said? Oh, okay. Yeah. 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 So also Open Liberty supports Spring Boot as well. So you can have some performance boost not to bring in Tomcat but bring in Open Liberty. So how many of you are using Spring? Of course. I'm talking to Spring developers. So if you are using Spring, if you want do a performance boost, try out Open Liberty. There's an Open Liberty basically. Let me see. So basically, there's a kind of Open Liberty. If you go to Open Liberty blog and you search, here's the Spring and basically Docker image, and also is kind of Spring Boot app, and also optimize Docker image, and like a Spring Boot starter, and actually it also can save you money with Open Liberty as well. Okay, back to the demo. So I have compiled it. Now I'm going to copy a Docker file. This is from here, Docker file, and also so in the service A and service B, I both copy the Docker file. I can see here IBM a container registry, so we have all the Open Liberty image. So in here, actually, the server is called build. So I copy the config file and the bootstrap and also the app and do a config.sh. That's service B. Service A is similar. So here, that is under the C is under gate. You can see here. So it's in the bootstrap property. The other things let me directly build this Docker image. You copy the file, copy the Docker build. As for service A, so I do a Docker build and let's see, this is service A. And then similarly, so this is the service B to build the image. I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is. Anyway, so it's like now it's the kind of the build the image. Image like directly create another terminal. Let me copy the deployment YAML file. So here I copied the YAML file. So you all know Kubernetes deployment YAML file, right? Yeah. So as you know, is like in the YAML file, you do the deployment. So it's basically the two microservices. First, we create the deployment. So here, the deployment, this is for the service A, and also the container port and etc. So here is the critical information. Do you remember like for the service A? So you need to access service B. So you put in here like the MicroProfile REST client this config. Do you know the deployment YAML file is basically use environment variable? Yeah, in with environment variable. You know, it's only the alphabetic and also the numbers and the score are legal characters. All the others are not. You can't really see slash. You can't really see that happen. So the duty is MicroProfile config. Directly say if it's illegal, convert to underscore. So you can see here, when I try to configure this, I have to configure all the slash and etc. Using underscore. So that is here. So I configured all this to underscore, right? So here is not the label to export again. That's because this key is called a gate, right? Yeah, like that. So I configured this. So here, as you can see here, you configure no longer localhost because this is the kind of the service. This is service name, and this is the port and etc. So here, I can even configure the variable like a conference. I can say gate 2024. And this is what you asked about Kubernetes Lemnis. So this is how you plug in the MicroProfile here. You just say, like, you say, okay, you directly do the, invoke this back, basically is the URL, this REST call. If it's kind of the query status, if it's up, Kubernetes, oh, okay, leave you alone. If it's down, for the Lemnis, Kubernetes immediately, like, reset query. So this is, again, this is for readiness. So that's for the deployment. So it's similarly for, service B. I don't need to configure much. And then, like, for the other part is the client, is the service. So it's basically, I will say service A is the cluster IP because they need to be exposed. So this is a node port. So that's why it's kind of the C4G app A service, so that's the name. So it's automatically used right here, right? No longer local host. And then service B is basically the kind of no need to be exposed. So that's the class IP. So it's now. So I have the Docker image done, all done, and I have my deployment YAML file. Actually, before this one, like, basically is, I already did the dry run mode. So it's, also I do Q control set services. So you can see this is on the 30080. I directly show you, if you do. So you can see this is all working, like this REST client and all working. let me recycle it. So that's my the deployment I done before this conference. So if I do delete -f, I delete it. If I do, I haven't got anything, right? Now if I go back to access it, or nothing. This is no longer work. So let's deploy our new image. You do apply and save. Yeah, is that right? And then you keep on try it. Okay, so the service D already up. Wow, service is already up, also up. And then you might ask, where are they? So again, you know this is the cluster IP 380, right? Sorry? Yeah, the node port. So it working now. Is if you do this, yeah, you can remember here the back to 2. Yeah, it's all working. See, that's how it works. However, if you go in here, no longer work. Why? Why the secure bit not working? You did it. You were awake. That's very easy to configure. So now, let's configure in the YAML. So it's in here. Do you like YAML? Anybody? Anybody hate YAML? So you need to be careful. And with all the spaces and etc., you need to be careful here. So here, do you remember that's the configuration? It's called a service D. Here, right? Service D underscore URL. Let's do that. Service D. Service D underscore URL. And then the endpoint. So this is the data protected. Yeah, looks about right. The service name, port. Let's save that. Now, what do you do? Let's just apply it. Look, it says configure. So it's spotted the change. And let's quickly see, what will happen. As you can see, it's gradually recycle this port. So basically, it's turn down the port and start a new one. Let's quickly have a look. Look, it's did the one first, and then did the second one. Look, it's terminating the other one, right? It start up one first, and then when the up running is happy, and then you can kill this running one. Now it's all good. The moment of truth. Yeah, magic. That's kind of concluded my talk today. Basically, let me also, you can see all the metrics. So it's also working in the containers without any problem. So with that, is the final, the slide. If you want to find out more information about MicroProfile, want to get this book, it's on Amazon. So it's with that, thank you for coming.